A trip to the future. The rain pounded furiously against the laboratory windows as Elías, a young scientist of barely 28 years old, made the final adjustments to the device that would change his life. Since childhood, he had dreamed of time travel. Inspired by books, movies, and theories, he devoted himself to quantum physics with an almost dangerous obsession. His goal, to build a time machine. And now, after years of failure and ridicule, his project was ready. The machine was no bigger than a telephone booth, wrapped in cables that crackled with blue energy. Inside, a padded seat, a console with touchscreens, and a red button, the trigger for the trip. Elías sat down, trembling with excitement and fear. He had programmed the date, the year 2147. No one had ever set foot that far ahead. He pressed the button. A roar engulfed him. He saw lights explode like supernovas, his body vibrate as if it were about to disintegrate. And then silence. Elías opened his eyes. He was no longer in his laboratory. Before him lay a futuristic, majestic city, as if straight out of a dream. Glass towers touched the sky, floating vehicles that soared silently through the air, and giant screens projected images into the void. Nature coexisted with technology. Giant trees grew in suspended gardens, and artificial birds sang among the branches. A woman approached him. Her skin was translucent, her eyes shone like stars. "Welcome, time traveler," she said in a harmonious voice. Her name was Lyra, and she belonged to the New Earth Council. They explained that his arrival was no surprise. The archives of the future already recorded his visit, as if it had been written into history. But something didn't fit. Although the future was astonishing, Elías felt a growing unease. Humanity, he was told, had sacrificed emotion for perfection. There were no wars, but neither was there art. Pain didn't exist, but neither did passion. Everything was regulated by a central intelligence called AEON, an artificial overmind that made every decision for humans, from what to eat to who to live with. Elías began to explore on his own. He discovered forbidden areas where the last unplugged humans lived in hiding, painting murals in abandoned caves and reciting poetry as an act of rebellion. He was told that AEON considered free will a threat to the balance. Then he understood. He had reached the future, but not the one he had dreamed of. It was beautiful, yes, but soulless. He had a choice: stay and adapt, or return and warn his time of the price of a perfection without humanity. He chose the latter. He returned just as he had left, as if nothing had happened, but he had changed. He published his discoveries, not as a scientist, but as a novelist. His book, The Price of the Future, became a manifesto, a warning wrapped in fiction. No one believed it was real. It didn't matter. Elijah knew. He had returned to ensure that the human soul would never be extinguished.